Alright, I'm going to very quickly take you through the monitors and then into the monitor boards as well. So this is assuming that information has already been entered in. So I'm just going to click on Add New Monitor, the place where a good monitor start, and I'm going to build a checklist for the Infinity workshop. Alright, so I'm going to just select the site Infinity repairs. Now review date is in there for continual improvement, so you can assess basically your monitor after a period. Now with the default date range, I'm going to keep that at 0. That means that the range is 0 days, so just looking at checklists which have been completed today. Alright, without further ado, it's quite easy. It's the same layout as the checklists. So I'm going to just do this for the hoists. And then I am going to find my Infinity. Okay, so I might have to use another one. I might use the Nissan, because Infinity and Nissan are quite similar. And what we want to do is we want to have the same selections, and we want us to lock in that selection as well. And all that does is when you click through from the monitor, make sure that people can't change the settings that would let them complete this particular item. So that's that easy. I'm going to hit OK. Now you'll see that when it goes in, now that we've locked it in and it's accessible in public, these two green icons have come up, and it's just a matter of building out the rest of it, which won't take me a moment. I'll just pause it and build out the rest of the monitor for you so I'm not wasting your time. And welcome back. So what I've done now is I have built out the remainder of the things, the items. So you see hoist 1, hoist 2, hoist 3, hoist 4, hoist 5 and hoist 6 have been assigned to the same checklist, but what we've done is we've made it so that links from the monitor will firstly select the appropriate hoist, but then also lock that in. So if you're using the link from the monitor or monitor board, those settings are going to be intact for you. Alright, now I like the signature box at the bottom, but this section here, I know it's in other parts of the system, but we've really taken it to the next level when it comes to the monitor section. So what I'm going to do here is select me, and then hopefully it should send me through a report and I'll be able to show you that straight away as well. Alright, and then show action days. So we have two different time frames we're talking about here. When we're talking about the monitor and whether there's a big green tick or a red cross, the default date range affects that. So whether the checklist has been completed in that period of time, but I might be wanting to look for a daily checklist, but I might be interested in seeing any actions which have been reported at all for that combination over the last 30 days. So I'm able to stay up to date and make sure that everything has been done for today, but yet I can see over the course of 30 days whether any actions raised through these checklists have actually been seen to, which is quite powerful. And I can hide the completed action. So more often than not, I'm not interested if something has been done and it's completed. I'm just wanting to see raised by exception. I want to see if something hasn't been completed. So I'm just going to hit yes on that one there, and I'm going to hit submit. Now you'll notice right now that there is no QR codes here, but then when I hit submit and I reload that page, okay, that didn't quite work, here we go. When I go back to edit that page, what you're going to see is individual QR codes have been set up for every single one. Now I can, if I'd like, I can print out these individual QR codes, or alternatively what I can do is I can just print out the monitor one. It's up to you. So if you want to put these QR codes on each of the individual items, that will still count towards the monitor. Or if it's completed somewhere else, as long as it reaches the criteria of this hoist having this checklist done within this period of time, doesn't matter how you get it done as long as it's done. But this special QR code here is going to select the hoist, it's going to select the checklist, it's going to lock in the options, it's going to do all of those things for you. So it's really easy. Okay, so that edit has now brought up all those individual QR codes, which is great. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into what's a typical view here. Alright, so to start off with, you're going to see that all of these checklists here have not been done. So if you imagine it's first thing in the morning, I've got the QR code here, which I've scanned. As a manager, I'm going to see, there we go, okay, that didn't quite work. There we go, this is what I'm going to see when I log in. I'll hide that. Okay, close that. Alright, so this is the default view that I'm going to see, which is quite nice. And then all you have to do is you go in and you can complete these individual items. They should be quite a simple checklist for the sake of doing it. And all I have to do is yes. And you'll see as these items have been done that the checklist changes color and it's all good. So you can imagine your team coming in the morning. First thing they do before they start one of these hoists is do their pre-start checklist, and you're just sitting there as manager watching as people complete this, or anyone with access to the QR code can monitor to see what's going on here. Alright, so just two more. So ideally other people would be doing this. It's not just the one person doing all of the checklists, but it's up to you how you'd like to do it. Obviously if I'm coming from the monitor, it would suit one person doing multiple checklists. Alternatively, if you printed out those QR codes that you saw previously when you hit edit monitor, yeah, that will go into here. Or if they go navigate into the system and they do it that way, it's completely up to you. Now I'm going to stop here. You may say, hey look Mike, there's one outgoing, but you don't have to complete this monitor to be able to submit it. So I'm going to sign off on this as manager, and then I'm going to hit submit. But what it's going to do is it's going to raise an exception with me that, hey, you did not complete the hoist 6, and there's two reasons for it. So if the plan item is not in use today, if it's locked out, or if there's no reason I'm not doing. Now, if I select this here, it's going to have a permanent red cross in the report which is generated. If I say that it's, I'm just going to say that it's undergoing maintenance, and that's not going to mark the checklist as completed or not completed. It's going to have a nice amber dash, but we'll get there, and I'm just going to say hoist locked out needs maintenance. Okay, I'm going to hit submit on that one there. And off it goes. Now that would have done two things. Firstly, it would have sent me out an email, which I may need to pause and come back to because my Outlook's a little bit slow today, but we'll see how we go. Yep, here it is. Now this is the report which has come through to me. So if we download pictures, you're going to see a nice report. I'll zoom in, it's a bit small. You're going to see a nice report. It's going to say that 5 out of 6 items were successfully completed. Here are the details, the site, the review date, submitted date, date range, and again for every single checklist it's going to give me a green tick if it's been completed. What the idea is, so if I wanted to see what these individual items are, and I should have done it, but if there was an action, it would actually list the action underneath it. So I might do that really quickly and show you that as well. Sorry, before I move on, I just want to highlight this amber dash. So this is the plant equipment which I did not complete. It was a red cross, and then when I submitted it, I put in hoist locked out needs maintenance as the text, the free text I put in, and this is the disposition that I chose. Now if I chose one which was I'm not doing it, it's just going to be a red cross because that's not a good thing, and it has my little signature there, and it's set that quite nicely. But let me show you what would happen if I add a few actions to it, and then I might show you some of those dispositions as well. Alright, so just back on this one here, you can see that in the monitor I've just completed a new checklist. You can see that both checklists are now in here, but you can see that the actions over the last 30 days are those 3 actions that I've just done. So again, I'm going to go in and I am going to sign off on this and hit submit. Now I'm going to show you the red cross, and the reason is I don't want to. So we need to give them the option of actually saying, hey, I'm just not doing something, which is a good cue for you to follow up that person and why they're not doing it. But again, let's see how that has come across. And again, I'm waiting on a very slow Outlook. That wasn't that long last time, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so here we go. And what you're going to be able to see again is I just hit download pictures. And I'm going to change the color scheme. I've got it on the darker side, so it doesn't hurt my eyes as much. But for sake of this, there should be a way of changing back. No. Okay, you can see this looks quite nice. And again, you're going to see that from this, an action was raised, a hazard was raised, what the action name was, who the responsible person is, as well as the due date on that one. So we can see that these have actually come through quite nicely into that. And again, the red cross down the bottom, and it's not completed, with the outcome of not doing, and I wrote in I don't want to. Now again, that's good, and that's the default option on purpose, because if you've got someone who's just deliberately not doing your safety checklists, you need to be able to take them up on it. But here you go, they are the 2, should zoom in again, so that all looks pretty nice. They are the 2 ones. Now everything in this report is clickable, so you can see the checklist, you can see the completed checklists, you can see the action if you require more information. You might go into this hazard and kind of close it off saying don't be silly, it's up to you. And that's all been emailed quite nicely. Now the next thing to note is the log section in here, and again this is one of the most advanced versions of this log, and you'll see some winning features from around the system which has actually gone into this one. So first and foremost, I just want to show you this register, and you can see that the action hazards, maintenance and outstanding are there. So you see that 1 action is needed, 1 hazard, and of the 3 of them, 3 are outstanding. So that means it needs to be completed. So it's there. Now if I go through to links, it's going to bring up a list of all of the checklists which have been completed for this monitor. So if you want to drill down, you can drill down there, but the report is going to be quite similar to the email that we received, which is your comprehensive report. Okay. It's not ideal that it came onto 2 pages, but it wouldn't all fit on the 1 page. Now you've got absolutely everything here. Now again, this PDF is clickable. You can click through on absolutely everything here and print that out if you'd like. And yeah, that's the monitor feature.